Morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Our condolences to the Abergel family, Hillel, Danny, everyone for the loss, of course, of Charlie Abergel, Alav Shalom. May his neshama v'naliyan Gan Eden. May Hashem mourn the entire family, console the entire family. Hashem. So we're continuing the halachot of Shabbat Siman Resh Mem Gimel, which we're talking about if a person has, let's say, a field and he rents it out to a non-Jew, and that non-Jew operates that field. So is it going to look back on the Jew if people are going to walk by that field and say, hey, this Jewish person that owns the field is operating on Shabbat? So there's a difference between items that, or we said, let's say you have a field, you have a store, you have an office that you rent out to let's say, a non-Jew. So there's items that are different, that it's known that people rent out office space to non-Jews, and no one will say, oh yeah, that's the Jews operating on Shabbat. It's a known thing that the people rent that type of things out, as opposed to other items that it's maybe not so known. So in the time of the Shulchan Aruch, it was, let's say, a bathhouse or a rechaim. Rechaim was a mill. So those type of things, it was known that's the Azulai mill, and they wouldn't rent that out for maybe they rent it out maybe on a short term, but not that it's changed the ownership in a certain way. And if that mill was operating, then people would automatically say, oh, that's operating on Shabbat, and that translates back to the Jewish owner. So we mentioned that there was a few kind of ways how to work it out. So first, talking about, let's say, a field or a office, places that's known that you can rent out to non-Jew. It's not going to translate back to the owner. So we said that type of situation has to be that the non-Jewish person that's operating it is operating not at he's making $20 an hour, whatever it is. No, this is his total business. And even if the guy's making millions, but he's just paying his rent to the Jewish owner, that's the way it's got to be. That the non-Jew is fully operating as fully his business and not translating back to the Jew. Also, that there's no marit ayin. It's not, let's say, in the Jewish community where everyone knows this was the Jewish guy's business, the Jewish guy's office, and now it's going to translate back to being that it belongs to the Jew. That there's no marit ayin, as opposed to, we said, let's say it's a new market. There's no Jews out there, barely, so it's not going to translate to, oh, this is a Jewish guy operating on Shabbat, or a Jewish office or land operating on Shabbat. So one more point on this is, one second. Complicated laws a little bit, so I just want to make sure that every detail is proper. Oh, the last point is, let's say it's a field or an office where money isn't necessarily made every single day. Let's say on a field. You work the field, so you plant, you plow, things take time. So really the job could get done the other 6 days a week. So now I've rented, let's say, an office. So now a storefront is different. You're buying and selling every day. You're selling a can of Coke. You're making money that day. But there's certain types of things, call it maybe an office or a field, where money isn't made every single day. Rather, you get the job done, and then the money's, or let's say you hire a painter to get the job done within the next 2 weeks. So does he have to work on Shabbat? He doesn't have to. You could do it, stay up late at night, whatever. You could do it the other days of the week. So therefore, if the non-Jew does it on his own volition, then it doesn't translate back to the Jew. Now, another way out, and this is what we do for Jewish business owners, let's say, that operate in a mall. So my father has a store downtown. So let's say downtown in general is not necessarily a Jewish community. So on holidays, he has an issue. On Shabbat, he could close the store, but on Chagim, where it's on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, there's issues where the mall doesn't allow. So how do you work around it? So one of the ways to work around it is that you actually sell it to a non-Jew on Shabbat and holidays. So it's these cases that we said was renting it to them. But when you sell it to them, then it's theirs. So there's certain documents made up for certain types of businesses that you could actually sell the non-Jew the ownership over Yom Tov and Shabbat, so that you don't avoid these situations. And the last point is, if you do live in a place where even in general items, like we said in our example of a bathhouse or a mill, that back then people didn't give total rental to a non-Jew. But if you did live in a place where that was the case, then that's fine. And then when you do rent it out to that non-Jew, it's not going to translate back to the owner, to the Jewish owner, then it would work out. Okay, that's that for today. Mincha tonight at 4:50. Have a good day, everyone. Tana Devei Eliyahu.